Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast here to tell you guys about Canadips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canadips CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CanadipsCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CanadipsCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canadips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports. All right, well, let's recap the semifinals, man. So, second place Vancouver Whitecaps beat first place San Diego FC 3-1. It looked initially that it was going to be a good a tight matchup, but once Vancouver, well, actually no, it wasn't. It actually Vancouver went right into scoring, but yeah, it was just once Vancouver, like I said, has been one of the more complete teams in Major League Soccer this season. They did very well in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which they made it to the final only to get obliterated by Cruz Azul, but still had a good run, beat some Liga MX sides. So Vancouver, a team that actually has a really interesting story because there was rumors of Vancouver to be sold. There was a rumor to be sold and to be moving away from Vancouver. That was a big thing that was being talked about. Last year they had a very embarrassing moment where they couldn't host their wild card round game, and so it was then hosted at Portland. And the reason why they couldn't host it in Vancouver was because Vancouver was having a monster truck rally. I'm not making this up. This is actually what happened. They had a monster truck rally, so they couldn't reschedule the monster truck rally over this wild card game for Vancouver. And so they just settled to play it in Portland. So the team that got a higher seed and at least had earned the possibility of having a home game in a winner-take-all match lost that home field advantage because the stadium refused to reschedule a monster truck rally. I'm really not making this up. That happened. You can Google it. You know what? Go ahead. Google it right now. I'll let you Google it right now. Just Google it. I'll be right here. Just Google it right now. I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, just Google it right now. I'll wait. I'll take a sip of water real quick. I'll wait. Okay, you believe me now? All right, cool. So that happened. That really happened. But going into the season, a lot of people were kind of counting off Vancouver just because of the uncertainty that was going on with the club. Clearly, that didn't matter because they went on a run. They looked really strong. They looked like one of the best teams in Major League Soccer, and I still very much believe that. I think they're the most. They're one of the, as right now, I think they're the most complete team in Major League Soccer. Defensively, midfield, attack, they're just complete. They play like a unit. They know what to do, and it's guys that have really proved themselves. Brian White, another solid year for himself, despite I think health concerns, but still played very well. You have Ryan Gauld back. Sebastian Berhalter, he worked his way up to earn a U.S. men's national team spot. Potentially could be in the World Cup. Tristan Blackman, I believe he got Defender of the Year. You don't quote me on that. Google that if I'm wrong. But Tristan Blackman, a standout, got called up with the U.S. men's national team. I thought that was questionable, but still he earned an opportunity to get called up by the U.S. men's national team. And on top of that, to put this team over the top, you go out and get Thomas Müller. You bring in Thomas Müller to come in and become the leader of this team. And these guys, and by the way, I want to say, I love watching Thomas Müller when he's on the bench because you hear him, shouting out things. He's trying to making it, still be like he's a leader. He's coming to Major League Soccer because he wants to compete in Major League Soccer. He wants to get the best out of this league and improve the quality of this league. That is one, like, to me, that's a great representation of a player that from Europe that is not coming in just, oh, this is like a vacation for me. Like he wants to compete, he wants to win, and so I love that. I love that he's doing that. Shows that he cares, and I love that for him. I want to point out Emmanuel Sabi. The only reason I want to point out Emmanuel Sabi is because he personally was a player that I used a lot in EA Sports FC or FIFA. I always try to get like American players like on my teams when I can, when I do like these road to road to glory, when I go from a team from a lower division and put them up in the Premier League or whatever the top flight is. And Emmanuel Sabi was a guy that I used pretty frequently. Um, and yeah, it's cool that it's funny because I knew I started tracking him because obviously like I used him a lot on FIFA, so I was starting to track him, trying to see like he's not really doing great in his current club situation. It'd be maybe it'd be nice for him to go to Major League Soccer. I was hoping it would be the Houston Dynamo, but he ended up going to Vancouver, and I think that was a great move for him. So yeah, I like a lot of this. I like a lot about this Vancouver Whitecaps team. San Diego, man, like let's say it, man. This for a team that in their first year, with some of the guys that they got, like Anders Schreier, Chucky Lozano, a savvy MLS veteran like Godoy, like this team did amazing. They had a spectacular first year. Hopefully they keep building off of this because this team, if they keep going like this, they'll be back. They'll be back in the Western Conference Finals, and they might be back for an MLS Cup. So like this team is in the right position. They might just need to get a little bit stronger, but like experience wise, I mean, solid run for them. I felt that this was going to be the end for them just because I honestly I was just really high on Vancouver, and literally a 3-1 result showcases that, right? So strong performance from Vancouver, and for San Diego, man, I hope this isn't the last time we see them. I hope we see them playing more times. I think that they cause more things to make interesting in California. So yeah, and I think the other California teams they're taking notice. Like shoot, man, we just let this team in their first year go as far as this. Not only that, but get that first seed. So San Diego is going to be an interesting team to watch for years to come. Hopefully they keep building off of that. I mean, the ownership looks like they're going to keep being aggressive and get guys that really are great for the league, like Anders Schreier. But yeah, they're eliminated, and Vancouver Whitecaps punched their ticket to the MLS Cup Final. Now, the game that was played before that one, third place Inter Miami beating New York City FC 5-1. It just wasn't close. It felt like it got interesting. They were New York City was down 2-0. They did respond. You thought maybe that was going to be a change in the game, but no. I mean, Inter Miami just kept it going, man. They kept getting their opportunities and just continuing to expose them. I believe a player scored a hat trick. I think it was like Sevelde. Let me see. Good old Fut Mob. Let's see. No, Allende comes in with a hat trick, man. Yeah, it was just all in all just a solid performance. Also, should point out, no Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez was on the bench. He was brought in the 82nd minute mark, but yeah, the fact that they're able to do this, without Luis Suarez, which was said to be a really big addition to the team, it shows that they can work well going younger. Because I mean, Allende, younger than Luis Suarez, 26 years old. Silvetti, he's 19, so they pursued to go over a little bit younger of a team, and it's working out, man. It's working out really well for them. It's solid performance all the way through, but man, dude, I felt Inter Miami would have learned from their mistakes from last year. I think that they went all out in the regular season, and they didn't anticipate how much of how intense the playoffs are. They overlooked Atlanta, and I think this go around they didn't overlook Nashville. They were gonna go full on with them. Same thing when they went against FC Cincinnati. They were gonna they beat them handily. They are not playing around. And I can tell you that Lionel Messi genuinely does care, because you can see the smile on his face when he was given the Eastern Conference trophy to raise it. Like he's all about this. Like he's like, yeah, let's go. Like, look, Is MLS perfect? By far, no. Are they slowly but surely improving the league? Yes. Like I said, come 2027, they're going to be changing the season format. They're going to be going to a fall spring schedule. That's going to help a lot. I'm sure the playoff format is going to change. Hopefully, um, things are going to slowly start changing. Obviously, they're moving. Don Garber will. They are planning on moving on from Don Garber. Hopefully, they bring in somebody that's looking to improve the quality of the game in Major League Soccer. Hopefully, one day we see pay to play also be moved away. Um, little things, but like it's gonna go a long way. And I do think Lionel Messi is, as much as I don't want to put so much on Lionel Messi, but the reality is Lionel Messi is going to help gain some recognition for this league. It just is. And it's not, look, I'm not saying that I want Messi to win. I really don't want to see Messi lift the MLS Cup. But it does help in Major League Soccer to gain attention if Lionel Messi is able to find success in this league. So I'm not saying it legitimizes Major League Soccer, but it does help get some eyes on Major League Soccer. The question is, what's going to happen after Messi leaves? And that's really my concern. That's been my concern for quite some time. What's going to happen to this league when Messi leaves? Did the league have put in some sort of foundation? Do they have a plan as to what's going to happen when Messi does leave back in 2028? So that's going to be a really interesting talking point. And we'll see. Once again, it's gonna be interesting to see who they bring in to be the new commissioner of Major League Soccer. They are gonna have to compete with USL. Now, I think competing with USL is probably a little bit of a reach right now. I think the thing that they have going for them is obviously promotion and relegation. At least that's what they have going. That's gonna get people to at least pay attention to what's going on in the league. But I mean, at their final, which by the way, shout out to the Riverhounds for winning the USL championship. But their players protested. Their players going prior into the match protested, basically having shirts that were kind of along the lines like, yeah, pro rail is cool and all, but how about improving our situation, improving our facilities, improving, prove the players first before you start talking about things for the league. And but it's kind of like a weird catch-22 because like the league, the players can't get this without improving the league, because if the league isn't getting eyes, they can't really throw money to help improve the situation for players. So like it's a weird catch-22. So I think that was interesting to point out. But I do think that Major League Soccer needs to have a good commissioner that can really put this league over. I think Don Garber personally has done a really good job keeping this league afloat. But now it's time to bring in a guy with a football background, soccer background, to really improve the league itself, the game itself. Not so much the finances, which I mean still is going to be important. But I think if the quality of the game improves, the money comes with it as well. So, but all right, we have a final. We have an MLS Cup final, and that is Vancouver Whitecaps, second place Vancouver Whitecaps from the Western Conference, and third place of the Eastern Conference, Inter Miami. I was under the impression that the higher seed hosts the MLS Cup final, but I just recently found out that Inter Miami will be hosting the final. Now, I do believe Inter Miami had. I'm gonna assume that they're going off of the Supporter Shield. The Supporter Shield. And the reason why I say they're going off of the Supporter Shield is because I do believe Inter Miami was above Vancouver in that respect. Is that how it's been before? I have really no idea. But and I can't really use last year's MLS Cup final because I believe Red Bull was like low in the Eastern Conference, and LA Galaxy, I believe, was either the first or second seed. So that one, it was a kind of a bit of a difference. But I'm guessing I'm gonna give MLS the benefit of the doubt that they're not trying to rig this from Inter Miami, but I'm guessing they're going off of the Supporters Shield standings, and I would assume once again I'm not looking at the table at the Supporters Shield table, but let me just do that just so I can so I'm not like it doesn't appear that I'm talking out of my ass. Um, Sorry for cousin Kelsey. But let me see. Major League Soccer table. There we go. Supporter Shield. So yeah, Inter Miami was a very much above. Was so first place was Philadelphia, second place was Cincinnati, third place was Inter Miami, and then that's when we get our first Western Conference team, which was San Diego. So I'm assuming that they're going off of the Supporters Shield standings, which if that case, then yeah, Inter Miami should be hosting it. Now, if we were going off of just what seed you were on your respective conference, it probably should be Vancouver. I will also point out that it probably does benefit to be in Inter Miami just because of the fact that they're playing on real grass versus BC Palace, BC Place, wherever Vancouver Whitecaps play, they use turf. And obviously, Hugo Lloris had some complaints about playing on a turf field. So I think, and obviously Messi is not particularly a fan of playing, or at least it's rumored that Messi isn't a fan of playing on turf. So I think that also helps. It's fine being in Inter Miami. Inter Miami is finished in a better standing than Vancouver, and I get that. Also, the East was very much the stronger conference this season versus the Western Conference. But yes, Vancouver is going into Miami and in hopes of winning their first MLS Cup, whereas Inter Miami is in hopes of winning their first MLS Cup. So we're going. It's guaranteed that we're going to have a brand new MLS Cup winner. Actually, I believe this is the first time Vancouver has been in the MLS Cup Final as well. So two teams that have never been to MLS Cup are in the Cup Final this season, and it's really interesting, man. And then obviously on top of that, it's Müller versus Messi. Both have played against each other over the years in Champions League, and in World Cups. So this is just a really I don't I don't consider it to be a rivalry. I don't even think Mueller considers it a rivalry. He has a lot of respect for Messi. But I mean, it's just gonna be really good. I mean, these guys have had some really iconic games against each other, and so I wonder what adds this onto that history. And I think that this it kind of helps also for the league to have a player of Muller's caliber and Messi's caliber facing off in a final. I think that's another thing that could help gain more viewership. Oh no, I think it's a great matchup. It's two really great teams. Inter Miami, once again, I think that they have really understand the league now better. That even with with Mascherano leading them as a manager, like Sergio Busquets, Lionel Messi, and Jordi Alba have a better understanding of this league. That they knew, hey, we don't necessarily have to be the best team in the regular season. We just got to get in the playoffs, and once we're in the playoffs, we just got to stay healthy and stay vigilant, in every single round. And I think that that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly why they're in the final. Vancouver, like I said, in my opinion, the most complete team in Major League Soccer. Philadelphia was probably like the next argument. Obviously, they are the Supporters Shield winner, but I just like how this team plays. They're very complementary to each other. So I think this is going to be a really good matchup. I hope it to be a good matchup. I don't want to see a blowout. I think there's obviously some concerns with Inter Miami's defense, but I mean, I don't think you can really use that right now because they have played really well defensively in these last two rounds. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good matchup. I think both teams are going to put up a great fight. And as far as a winner, man, it would make all sense in the world that Inter Miami wins it. But I'm not going to pick Inter Miami just because of the fact that, one, if you guys don't know, when we did the MLS preview, I predicted that Inter Miami wasn't going to win an MLS Cup, and I even put a jersey bet on it. So if Inter Miami wins the MLS Cup, I have to do a jersey giveaway. I'm gonna have to do it. So I wish I forgot about it, but people do remind me. And so I'm really going to be pulling for Vancouver. I mean, I have some reason to watch it, obviously, if to support Vancouver, mainly because of Manuel Sabi. So that's why I'm rooting for Vancouver. Also, on top of that, I would really like not to give away a jersey. So, but I will say it's going to be headlines. If Inter and honestly, Vancouver will be headlines as well, just because it's going to be like, why can't Messi win MLS Cup? So, either way, it's there. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this final. I think Apple. I want to say it's going to be on Fox. Apple TV is going to obviously have the game. Um, they once again they took off the paywall, so you just um with a regular Apple TV account, you can watch MLS Cup Final. But I believe it's going to be on Fox. Let me do my due diligence and actually make sure I have like the information available for everyone instead of just talking out of my ass. So, MLS Cup Final. Oh yeah, it's gonna be on Fox. It's gonna be on Fox 2:30. I hate myself. Okay. Let's look at the time. Actually, apparently it's 1:30. Is that Eastern time? Okay. West. Okay. All right. So 1:30 Central time, 2:30 Eastern time. The MLS Cup final will be, so it's a little early, but you know what? It's fine. It'll be good. It'll be a good matchup. But yeah, I'm gonna be pulling for Vancouver mainly because I would like to not give away a jersey. So that's just me. But yeah, that is the MLS Cup final. I hope it's gonna be a good one. I hope it's gonna be a competitive one. But we'll see how it all goes.
Who is that guy?